Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. On this exciting episode, we sit down with Paul, DeFi Wind Organizer, Paula and Floris from Waterspeed to deep dive into the world's biggest water sports gathering, DeFi Wind, DeFi Wing, and DeFi Kite. And we tie in how the Waterspeed app is transforming how riders prepare, track, and compete. So we do hope that you enjoy this episode. Next, I'd like to say a big thank you to our team. We have Frank, Stefan, and Pam. Thank you guys for your continued work into 2026. Next, we want to say a big thank you to our partners. We are the official podcast of the Surfwell World Tour. Please visit surfwellworldtour.com for upcoming events and additional tour information. Next, we want to introduce Waterspeed as our official app of the Foil Life community. It is the app that water sports athletes use to track their performance on the water. Connect your Garmin, Coros, Apple Watch, and Vaqueros, and it starts logging everything. Speed, tack, jibes, foiling time, live tracking, VMG, and polar charts. This is the kind of data that actually tells you whether you're getting faster and better, or just feels like you are. It works across 30 water sports, including downwind, wing foiling, sailing, windsurfing, and it turns every session into something you can learn from. This is what performance tracking looks like when it's actually built for the water. So before you listen any further, go download the Waterspeed app today. It's available on iOS and Android. Lastly, we want to give a big thank you to our sponsors because they have supported us for 3 years in a row. We want to say thank you very much to North Foils, Mystic, on kiteboarding. Please visit foillifepodcast.com/sponsors to learn more about them. Now, I hope you enjoy the show. Now, before you go anywhere, if you haven't joined the training challenges, log on to Waterspeed and join either the Kite, Wing, or Windsurf Challenge and compete with some of the top athletes that are going to the event. All right, enjoy the show. Welcome to Foil Life. Whether you wing, kite, parawing, downwind, pump, or e-foil, thanks for being here. All right, my friends, it's nice to see all of you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having us.
Nice to see you.
It's going to be pretty fun today. The first time I saw DeFi Wind was when I was peak in learning how to windsurf following my motorcycle accident, like maybe 2015 or something. And it was so moving to see so many people on the water together. And it was unbelievable. I still remember that video. I was like, one day I'm going to get out there. So it's really cool to be able to have you guys on to talk about this event and then also talk about the technology that we now have to help people be even more integrated. Even if you can't go to the event, you're able to now take part, which is pretty cool.
Super happy to be here and to talk about the DeFi and everything we've done with Waterspeed. I think it's going to be interesting to share our feedbacks.
Yeah, I can imagine all of that. For anybody, I guess, who hasn't experienced yet, like what makes DeFi so different and so special?
So yeah, the DeFi is a big gathering, this whole community that is coming to take part to the event, either for the riders that are competing into the race or all the brands that are coming to the village, because we are building a big village with a total of 63 brands that are coming to showcase their gear and everything. And also we have more than 2,200 riders coming throughout the event through the DeFi Kite for the first 3 days, the DeFi Wing right after, and then the DeFi Wind. So it's a big gathering, and I think it's super special because it's the only place where you can compete with professionals, amateurs, all starting from the same starting line at the same time. So you're just competing with either pros, either your friends, family, and I think for me, it's what makes this event so special.
Because obviously we know that the kiters don't get along with the windsurfers. Is everything segregated? Did you have to have special security to keep us apart?
I don't know if it's because they don't get along, but it's because we've got too much riders right now. So it will be super dangerous to have them all
I can
at
imagine.
the same starting line. But yeah, so it's all started in 2001. With the DeFi Wind. I was only 2 years old at this time, so I don't remember much, but it grew up pretty fast, and every year more and more riders were coming to the event. And then it was kind of normal to add new sports, and the foiling is part of this growth. We started the DeFi Wing 5 years ago because it was a new sport. The wing was a new sport, and the foil was growing up fast, and we had to include it into the event because it's part of also this event, the inclusion of everything.
Are you ready to take your foiling to the next level in paradise? Join our Ecuador Foil Retreat from May 23rd to 30th and stay with us at the stunning hilltop Montanita Estates Boutique Hotel, just steps away from the beach and epic waves. Get daily coaching sessions from elite pro Julia Castro, who is a multi-world champion in foil and kite, and local legend Robert Ross, who has 15 years of Ecuador coast mastery. We're going to be able to master foil drive, prone surfing, and tow foiling in warm water. They have consistent year-round swells and empty lineups for 200 to 300 meter rides. There are limited spots, so make sure to visit foillifepodcast.com/camps to reserve your spot today.
How did you guys come up with the name DeFi? Is it just like a very hard challenge, or?
Yeah, I think we've got to ask my dad. He's the organizer of it and the creator of it. But I think it means challenge in French. So I think it's the wind challenge basically, because it's a long distance race and it's super challenging. So that might be the answer.
We're going to talk about how the incorporation of technology can potentially help in this, but kind of curious, the vibe, and then how do people deal with these crazy winds? So 2 questions for you.
So I think we've got different times in between the days and the races. So there is the races, and there is this time where you are in the water, and it's super challenging because the wind in Gruissan is super strong. The Tramontana is the main wind, and it's super strong. So there's for sure this nervosity between the riders when they get into the water. And there is this other time which is inland and just having fun with your mates and stuff, and going to the brands to see everything they have. And also the at night we have the parties and everything. So we've got concerts, we got DJs and stuff. And we call it the DeFi night and day, because it's not only during the day that we are racing, but also the experience during the night is pretty cool. So this is the 2 key moments during the days. But yeah, like I said, the Tramontana can be super strong in May. So there's for sure nervosity, and it's really hard to get along with the Tramontana if you don't know this wind. And we are doing this event, and the race is on a 10 kilometers beach. So when you start from the starting line and you go to the first buoy, which is in Paula Nouvelle, 10 kilometers away, the wind is always stronger over there. So there's always anticipations to have, and it can be tricky.
It'll peak up to what? Close to 50?
No, yeah, sometimes it's like 10 knots stronger.
Okay.
So,
but what's the most wind you've seen? I heard it was pretty crazy last year, the year before.
Yeah, we've got pretty sick condition in the previous year. It can go up to like 40 knots easily. Sometimes 45, 50, but 50 we're not happy to send people on the water because it can be dangerous.
Gnarly.
But they are actually coming for it, and they also want this strong wind, and are super happy when they're racing. But I remember when I was younger, I wasn't even working yet for the DeFi because I was too young. There were one race that was super crazy because it was 50 knots more, and only the top 15 guys or top 100 guys were allowed to go on the water because it was like kind of dangerous. But yeah, it was a great moment.
You'd have to be like 200 pounds. On our Great Lake in Ontario, there was one day of 50 knots. I weigh 150. I couldn't go out, but my neighbor who weighed like 200, 210, they all went out on their smallest sails and had a great time. But I couldn't hold anything down.
Yeah.
But how did you guys connect? How did Waterspeed and DeFi connect to make this really cool partnership?
So I would say that DeFi is this kind of event where you really need to be prepared. And that's where Waterspeed adds real value, because we are not just helping riders record sessions. We are helping them train with intention, understand their performance better, and arrive at the start line feeling more prepared. But I will say that beyond that, FI just feels aligned with what Waterspeed is about. Last year was my first time attending DeFi, and not as a rider, as part of Waterspeed team, and the energy was unreal. You have, as Paul said, you have pros, you have amateurs, you have a group of friends that I'm pretty sure that are coming year after year just to ride DeFi together. And it feels much more than a competition. It feels like a real celebration of the sport. So for us, a mix of performance, participation, and community is exactly what makes the partnership so natural.
Well, that's really cool. And that allows people who would not be able to make the event participate. Maybe Flo, you can deep dive a little bit more when we get more of the technical aspects of this. But how does that feel, Paul, to be able to extend that reach even further than those who can attend?
This is pretty cool, actually. This is what we have tried to do with Waterspeed, not only include riders that are coming to the event, but also try to push people that are not coming, unfortunately, because whatever reason, to try to join and experience this, the challenges and try to challenge themselves against the riders. And yeah, I think it's what we've done with the challenges. It's great. If you are not registered yet, you should register the challenges, because it will give you many insights on how to prepare, on how to improve on different aspects. So it's always good.
So Flo, what are these challenges for those that might be tuning in who haven't had the opportunity to check out the app yet?
Yeah. We have 3 different challenges available for kite, wing, and windsurf. And we came up with a format that pretty much everybody can join. It's a long distance format, 20 kilometers. It is not the whole DeFi race distance, because that can be up to 35, sometimes 40 kilometers. But at least a big section of it you can join in these challenges. So it's 20 kilometers in your sport, and you can ride against the top riders. You can see how you rank in your preparation. And if you participated last year in DeFi or in the Waterspeed challenges, you can see how you stack up against other riders or against yourself from last year. So it's 20 kilometers and you set a time. And quite some people have joined already. We have close to 300 people over all these 3 challenges.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I invite everybody to get onto it. And even if you're at a lake, you can always make a few more tacks. I know you will lose some speed tacking and jibing, but yeah, at least it's very good preparations for those legs and for those long endurance races that are coming up very soon.
So that's kind of interesting as well. For those who are a little bit more competitive, they can gauge where they would sit in the pack with some of these top athletes that are using it, and then gauge whether or not or where they're going to sit in the ranking. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. You can kind of do a bit of a deep dive. You can go in the app, go to your friend or to maybe a pro athlete and look where they have been winging. You can see exactly, okay, they have been doing this. Their time might have actually been better if they didn't have to tack or jibe as many times, and see what the top speeds are. And if you're very lucky, you might even be able to see the heart rate as well, because DeFi is not one race. DeFi is multiple races. So if you see if they do one activity in the challenge and the heart rate is already very high, then they have to do a bit more training to get fully prepped.
Paul, because I'm sure you've had conversations with athletes, what does preparing for a race like this look like?
So you have to be prepared for the DeFi, actually. So the DeFi, it's called the ski marathon, so it's because it's a long distance and you have to get a lot of stamina, and there's a lot of races. You can go up to 3 races during one day. So you really got to be prepared. You cannot come and just try to do as best as you can. If you want to have the best results, you have to train for sure. I guess the biggest part of the training is being able to go on the water. So you have to spend a lot of time before the event. And it's like a marathon. You have to run every day, different objectives and stuff. And so, being able to go on the water and this partner is important with Waterspeed, because in all different sports today, data has played a super important role. If you want to improve, if you want to, you just gather so much insights that will help you to be more prepared and more prepared. And so, being able to go on the water, having those insights on your average speed, on even the best speed that you get and the top speed and everything. It helps for the preparation for sure.
What are some of those top features, Flo, that'll help contribute to somebody surviving le défi?
Well, of course, you have the countdown timer that really helps you. Like you set it because, like, if you come to DeFi, there's usually like a 60-minute. You come all at one place at the podium, and we have an official countdown, and that is 60 minutes. And those 60 minutes, they actually go pretty fast. So everybody takes their watch, and you hit the timer. You set the time of 60 minutes, and it's one big countdown. So you can practice that yourself. You don't have to do it with 60 minutes, but you can do it with 10 minutes. You get prepared. You make sure you rig the right stuff. You take the right sail. You take the right wing. You take the right kite. That's part of your preparation as well. You want to know exactly. You want to be dialed with what are you taking with 20 knots? What are you taking with 35 knots? So the countdown timer is a very important feature. Then after your session, you can do your whole debrief. So you can see exactly, okay, I'm good for, let's say, 10 minutes. And then I start to slow down because I haven't eaten enough, because I should be bringing water with me. It can be quite warm. So you will see people at DeFi, they will bring a camelback with them, and they can drink on the water. Then another feature could be, for example, how is my tagging and jibing ability? Tagging and jibing is something completely different at DeFi. There is, you have to round a buoy, you have to round a few buoys, and especially doing DeFi Kite, which I did last year, it's a place where you can either win a lot of time or you can lose a whole lot of time. So you gotta be very smart there. It's not just knowing how fast you can do it, but also play it very smart. You don't want to be in the high crowds, and where it gets choppy, you might want to go a little bit further and then go around the mark. So those kind of things, and you can of course do a debrief of like what were my fastest 10 kilometers and where was that in my session. So that's kind of the best way how you can use it. And then of course you can look into somebody else's session. Erwan Geoffroy, for example, he does all the sports. Go into his sessions, in his activities, and like see what kind of gear he's using. Maybe you have to go to the shop and get a last minute upgrade of a new fin or a wing or whatever you're riding. So that's also a very powerful feature. That is kind of, yeah, I'm not sure how many people are using it, but like the data is public. So you must like go in there and make use of it. You can't get well enough prepared to DeFi. Like there's always ways to improve. And even if you think you are 100% prepared, the wind will shift, or there's seaweed, or there is something that will throw a spanner in the works. Yeah, this is just an extra tool to get fully prepped.
Yeah, I'm gonna add also here, because some riders mentioned that they really use Waterspeed to compare the sessions, because you can add the gear you use in the session. So afterwards you can
really
use different sessions, compare it, and see, because you need to make sure what kind of gear are you gonna use during the race. So yeah, that's another thing to add.
So this is allowing people to see and feel and hear and all the senses regarding the stuff that they couldn't do previously to take part in these kind of competitions, breaking it down to what was I riding then, where was my heart rate in this section, how slow am I going around, how can I improve. And that countdown timer, you think it's a joke, but I did Paddle Amua last year, and I was because I didn't hear the bell, and I was the last one leaving the channel. And it's like, I caught up to 30th, but I was like, where the heck is it? I started at the same time as the paddlers did. I was winging because, yeah, I didn't have any of that. I didn't think of it, but those things are pretty important if you want to rank. It's where are you close to that finish line? And another thing is heart rate. Am I going to get gassed 20 minutes in? Like, what kind of fitness do I have to do? Where am I in that VO2 max? Am I peaking at 180? Like, how's that going? So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And also, at the DeFi, what is interesting with the countdown, it's super important. I speak as a rider because I've done the DeFi many times, and there's so many people in the water, and sometimes you don't see the boat crossing the line because it's a rapid start, so it just crossed the whole line. And there's so much people on the water, you don't see this boat going through. So if you don't have the time, you don't even know if it started or not yet. So it's, yeah, for sure, it's something important.
Big time. Could we touch on, let's say, Who are leading some of these challenges right now? Do we have that data?
Sure. Yeah, I just did so it's today, the 20th of April, and we have the top speed in windsurfing, Jean Legal. His time is 23 minutes and 54 seconds with a top speed of 37 knots and an average, which is not as important because he might have stopped his session like after he was on the beach already, but his average was 20 knots. In wing, we have Martin Petriaskis with a time of 26 minutes and 9 seconds, top speed 30 knots. And in kite, we have our friend Erwan Geoffroy with 29 minutes and 55 seconds, top speed 26.3 and an average of 20 knots. So yeah, and I think these times were all set, except the one from Martin, from Jean and Erwan, were all set in the DeFi location in Gruissan. The time of Martin was set in here. So yeah, there's a lot of people, I guess, training already, getting fully prepped in Gruissan. But again, I invite you once again, whether you're in Japan, in Australia, in Denmark, Norway, in the States, in Brazil, in Peru, you can join these challenges from anywhere. Just wait for a windy day. You can join them for free. You can do it with your phone or with your Apple Watch, Garmin, Coros. Like, we support all the platforms, and you can join. There's no limits there, so you can just set a time, your fastest 20K, and see where you stack up.
And Jean, wow, 68.5 kilometers an hour is a top speed there. That's starting to get pretty quick.
Yeah. And, Gruissan is a top location for this kind of race, right? Like, you're racing with offshore winds. So you have like super butter smooth water. If you're not on a foil, like, you can go like very high with a fin or with a twin tip, for example. You can pretty much like ride 5 meters off the beach. So you have like super smooth water. With a foil, you have to go a little bit deeper. But anyway, with a foil, it's not that important because you can navigate the chop. But if you don't make it in these kind of top speeds, because you're in a choppy location, Gruissan is a top location for this. So if you're training in choppy waters, Gruissan is going to be a little bit easier for you.
All right, circling back to these challenges, what do I win if I'm going to take part in this?
So there is actually a really nice mix of prizes and recognition. The big one is the golden jersey for the leaderboard winner. So they get to wear the golden jersey at the start of the race one. So that's pretty cool moment.
Oh, wow.
And then every active participant is also entered into a draw for a free entry ticket to next year's DeFi. So it's not just about winning. It also gives more people a reason to get involved and start tracking their sessions, because you can win a ticket for next year, even if you are not the first on the leaderboard.
Whoa. Any other kind of cool prizes that people can take home?
Yeah, we have some more activations during DeFi. So absolutely come to us and say hello. And
cool.
For example, if you show us that you have done 25 knots on Waterspeed, we will give you a nice little goodie at registration. So make sure you be on Waterspeed now and you clock those 25 knots. That's really good. Just one thing regarding the golden jersey, it's very cool because if you wear this golden jersey, kind of you are someone on the water. Yeah, you don't go up in the big masses, but you kind of stand out. And like, okay, that boy or girl, like they are fast. We have to beat them. And then after like race one, then the next first person, it gets kind of handed over to the next leader of the pack. So it's kind of what happens in the Tour de France.
Same Masters, right? It's a green jacket.
It's also yellow jersey. Oh, yeah.
I know, but it's like the green jacket for Masters, right? For
exactly.
golf.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's a very cool little thing that's in there incorporated. Yeah.
Are there any other jerseys, Paul, or is this the unique jerseys that in this particular situation that makes people stand out the most?
Yeah, no, this is the only jersey. The winner of each races are getting the Waterspeed yellow jersey, and this is the only one that we have for the best male and female, actually.
Oh, that's sick. Nice. Jumping over into, let's say, some tools for prepping, because I know there's a lot of that stuff going on. Paul, have you gotten the opportunity over the years to talk to the athletes and see, I guess, we kind of touched a little bit on this before, how they were training, but maybe a little bit more about that? It'd be kind of cool to find that out, because I'm at home and it would be neat to find out what would be the best way to get ready.
Yeah. So I've talked a lot with Nicolas Varambeau, which won the DeFi twice in Gruissan, and Pierre Mortefond as well. And they are locals. This is their local home sports. I've had the chance to talk with them about their preparation and everything. And one thing that stand out, I think it's knowing your gear, and it's important when you go on the water and on which condition you should use this gear or this gear. So this is like, you really have to train a lot and to go on the water and getting to know your gear. Like we said before, the wind can be stronger in Paula Nouvelle than in Gruissan, so this is only something that you have to take into consideration. And having the best gear to be able to sail in any kind of condition is the best. You have to really feel great on your gear. Don't wait too much stamina or something like this, because it's long races. This is what stand out.
Any kind of tips for first timers, especially winging in that kind of wind? Is there any kind of practical, other than bring your smallest wing that you have?
Yeah, it's enjoy every moment. This year we have on 650 participants in wing foil. We have more than 200 news, 225 exactly. So it's going to be a big first time for a lot of people. And I think it's just having a lot of fun, on the water and inland. And there's always someone to take on, and there's always someone that is going to pass you by, because there's so much people in the water. So just make sure you sail safely, don't hurt yourself on the water, and just enjoy the moment, because everybody is just smiling, having fun. So yeah.
I guess in the Paddle Amour race that we did, it's the only one I've compared it to. People are fairly respectful. They kind of give each other enough berth and stuff, especially if you're going paddling to winging to whatever in this kind of thing. Because if you get too close kiting, it could be something quite, especially in that kind of wind.
Yeah. I think everybody is playing a great game. Like, everybody's taking care of everyone, and we have a lot of security on the water. But I think that the best security is this person that is going past you. And if you're in danger, just like show them that you're in danger, and they will stop. And I think it's like a big gathering of enthusiasts and friends, actually, because we are all passionate about the same thing. And the atmosphere is really nice.
And looking at brand stuff, kind of tying back in with you a little bit, Flo, of being able to track what gear you use, it gives them a little credibility as well, right? Because it's not just all the athletes, let's say, if they're kind of at that same level, but it'll be interesting to see what foil, what wing, what windsurf sail kind of thing, what can help people, especially if it's a little bit gusty or whatever, like that'll tie into it as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of you really have to dive into each individual activity to look that up. And it's not mandatory to add it to your activity. Some people, they play it into the tactical side, as they don't want to show what kind of gear they're exactly using. So they might not write it exactly down in the app, but if a rider put it in, then you will be able to see it. So you can look up the top, 5 or 10 riders and see exactly what they are using. But yeah, I haven't actually done a deep dive into what is the fastest gear on being used on Waterspeed, but it's something we could
be interesting.
Do.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. So what are the dates for this, Paul? So people can follow along if they're at home?
So the DeFi Kite is happening from 8th May to 10th. The DeFi Wing is straight after that, from the 11th to the 13th May. And the DeFi Wind is taking part from the 14th May to the 17th. So it's 10 big days of event.
Now, this is Camperville Central, right? So you're probably going to have some really cool camper vans and all that kind of retro stuff showing up.
Yeah. No, actually, it's a big Woodstock. Yeah? We like this word, because it's like everybody's just coming and like it used to be when I was younger, when my dad first started the DeFi, when he just wanted to bring the whole community And windsurfers, we like to, we're not super straight. We like to have camper vans, camp everywhere and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a big thing, and all the parkings are super full. So if you can arrive earlier, you just arrive earlier if you want a great space.
It's like if you're in Eastern Canada, there are not very many camper vans, but as soon as you make it over the Rockies and as soon as you get west, you're going to start to see more and more and more. And anything that I've seen from France or Europe, they've adopted that lifestyle a lot more. I don't know why Eastern Canada doesn't do it as much. I think it's more government stuff, but that would be amazing just to see all the different setups and a little bit of mini Hood River or a big Hood River, I guess, because that's the same setup as over there too.
Yeah. And actually about camper vans, like the area where we build the whole village is a camper van station. So there is nothing. And then in 2 months, we build the whole village that is staying for 10 days. And then we then build everything. But it's on a camper van station.
Oh, cool. Anything else we wanted to add before we wrap this one up, guys?
Pretty cool on my side.
Invite people to join the challenges. There are 2 more weeks, and they can actually join Waterspeed for free and using the DeFi link for enjoying the Pro or the Ultra subscription. And yeah, get ready for the race.
It's awesome that you guys are doing this, Flo and Paula, because it'll allow the community to take part, like we had mentioned before. But it's a cool thing to be able to do. If you're somewhere where you have to work through this whole thing, at least you can kind of take part and enjoy it and feel like you're there. Because it is such an amazing experience for all of us who are wind lovers. And it's one of the, I don't know, see the world's biggest, right? Well, thanks for joining us on the show, guys. It was great chatting with you.
Thanks a lot, Luc, for having us.
And we will see everybody on the next one. If you haven't downloaded Waterspeed yet, do so, like Paula said, and enjoy these challenges. And if you're making it down to the event, I hope you have a great time.
See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Much.